Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. A couple of things before we get going into this review. I am sorry about the live stream being moved last night to this Sunday. I had some family issues and I had to go drive across my state. That's a 5-hour drive, and stay up there for about 3 days, a day longer than I was anticipating having to do that. So I just got home. It is Friday at 5 p.m. right now, and I'm just too exhausted to do a 3-hour live stream. But I, of course, need to get a video out for tomorrow, so we're going to review the Petro. One more thing before we get going. The winner of the Tier 8 Premium giveaway has been selected. I have messaged them in-game. They have 24 hours to respond to that message, either on Discord or in-game as well. If I do not hear from them in those 24 hours, I will select a new winner, message them, and so forth and so on, until somebody hopefully responds. But anyway, I will reveal who they are and what they chose after that is all said and done. But right now, the Petropavlovsk, the embodiment of Russian bias, according to many, has been released in update 9.6. And I know I'm a couple of days late on this one, but again, I was out of town for some time. And yeah, wow. Just got her through the XP I had saved up on the the XP I had saved up on the with the two premium Russian ships that I was reviewing, the P-Bag and the whatever Smolniks Jr. Had a couple 100,000 XP between the two of them and a couple of free XP up there. I now have the Petropavlovsk, a ship who I think is completely unnecessary in my opinion. Nothing was wrong with the Moskva. I get wanting to split the Soviet tech tree into light and heavy cruisers. Totally get it. The entire Russian line was compromised of light cruisers, and then you suddenly got the Moskva, which was a heavy cruiser. Makes perfect sense to want to, split the line into heavy and light cruisers, but the choice to replace the Moskva with the Petropavlovsk is kind of confusing, since the Moskva was a heavy cruiser, so you could just slap it over here to the tier 10 spot instead of having to make this Petropavlovsk a thing. I don't know if this was supposed to be some tier 10 premium ship, and instead of releasing it as a premium ship, they made it a tech line ship and made the Moskva the special ship, because it's technically not a premium ship, quote unquote. Whatever, it is here today, and we are going to take a looky-do at it. So no captain skills have been applied and no modules have been assigned just yet. We're going to go ahead and take a peek at her right now. Starting with her armor layout, there's that Soviet icebreaker bow, 50mm bow, 50mm plane with a 25mm bow, so she can't bounce 15-inch guns. Then she has a 180mm cheek there, 180mm belt, 50mm upper belt, torpedo protection plating of 30mm, stern plating of 25mm, a little cheeky there for 180, 50mm there. Rear deck armor, 25mm, but I do believe it is the same. 25mm, yep, that's the same. Mid deck of 50mm. Turrets have 300mm on their face, 180mm on their side. Angle slope 145mm, and a roof of 135mm with a conning tower of 200mm. So fairly well armored cruiser, as always with the Russians. Let's look at her citadel. Actually, no, let's do that. Oh, what? Are you serious? It has, not true turtleback armor, but that's not the Citadel. That's the Citadel. So you gotta get through all of that before pinning the Citadel. Okay. That's, wow. Okay. So I would imagine this is pretty tough against other cruisers. Against battleship guns, of course, it's gonna, pin the crap out of it. But that's interesting. The Moskva does not have that, I believe. I believe so. I'm about to be either really surprised or really embarrassed right now. Does the Moskva have that? Nope. I didn't think so. And the Stalingrad doesn't have that, so that thing's freaking squishy as hell on the side. No. Okay, Petro. That's, wow. Alright, so that's going to be pretty tough to pin against with other heavy cruisers, but with battleships, of course it's going to pin the crap out of it. Alright, let's look at the statistics. I guess some of the larger heavy cruiser guns won't have, because it is only 180 millimeters. The color scale's kind of off now because they redid it a little while ago. All right, hit points 55,800 with torpedo protection, damage reduction of 19%. And she has 3x3 220 millimeter guns, and these are the source of most of the biasness that comes from the Petro. These are the same caliber guns that the Moskva has, yet they have so much better pen. It's stupid. Alright, reload time of 13 seconds base, 180 time of 38 seconds. Maximum dispersion of 190 millimeters. Her HE shell has a maximum damage of 3,050 and a 14% chance of starting a fire, and can pin 37 millimeters of armor. AP shell has a maximum damage of 6,350 with a maximum range of 18.4 kilometers, and her AP and HE shells have a velocity of 995 meters a second. And compare that to the Moskva, which has quite literally the same guns. I mean, they are quite literally exactly the same guns, yet Petro has better pins. Go figure. Secondary guns, she has 6x2 130 millimeter guns. These are, I'm assuming, mainly for AA. And if you want to build them, they have a maximum range of 5 kilometers right now, 4-second reload, and 8% chance of starting a fire. Alright, her AA, yeah, those are, of course, dual-purpose guns. A rating of 96, which is actually quite good, because this is base, and normally if something's like above 95 now, that usually means it's good, but again, we don't really know that much. Maximum speed 32.5 knots, turn circle radius 990 meters a second, and a rudder shift time of 12.1 seconds. So again, like other Soviet large cruisers, she has a massive turning radius. Consumables base is 14.5 kilometers. And for, oh yeah, that's right, this is new now. Whew. Alright, for consumables, she has, of course, damage con, defensive AA, or I guess, or hydroacoustic search. Soviet radar, 12 kilometer range, 15-second runtime, 120-second cooldown time, get 3 charges, and of course the repair party consumable. And again, nothing has been applied. Alrighty then. Alright, so that's the stats of the Moskva, of the Petropavlovsk. I'm going to throw a commander on here and throw some modules on and be back with you guys in a second. Alright, for my commander, I'm using Kuznetsov. I think I actually said that right that time. I mean, good God, this guy with this one build, can be used on 90% of the Soviet higher tier ships. It's hilarious. And again, he has a normal Soviet high tier ship build, as I like to call it, which is survivability. So, preventative maintenance, MLG turrets, adrenaline rush, of course, superintendent, basics of survivability, fire prevention, and concealment expert. And of course, he has his refusal to die talent, as I like to call it, to where you get a free heal when you are about to go down, and emergency reserves, where if you manage to get first blood, you get another heal and another, well, one of each consumable. As for the module build, went with main battery build on the Petro with a focus towards DPM. So main armaments mod 1, damage con 1, aiming systems mod 1, damage con 2, concealment, and main battery mod 3. And I'm sticking with DFAA for now. Hydro, of course, would probably be pretty useful too, but new ships, the Petro, everybody hates it, and I imagine the CV players hate it even more. So yeah, that's what she is. Oh, let me, of course, show you her new statistics now. So her main battery gun, she now has 11-second reload time and 37-second turret traverse time. So I actually have, kind of canceled out the debuff of the DPM module. And her concealment range is now 11.7 kilometers on a heavy cruiser. That's really good. That's really, really good on a cruiser this large. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and throw signal flags and all on her, and I'll see you guys in battle. So the radar range is slightly beyond the detection range. And the AA range, the radar range. And her AA range is 6.6 kilometers. Oh, that's right, I forgot the rear turret can 360. I think all the turrets can 360 if I remember correctly, which is redonkulous. Oh, actually, look, let's see if we can dodge this. Oh, yes, we can. Alright, let's get turned around. Oh yes, they added the bouncing sound effects now. That's great. Set the Shimikaze on fire of all things. But... oh, hello. These turret angles, wow. That's really freaking good. Of course they are, because they're 360 turrets. Overpin on the Petro. Hilarious. So it overpins itself when it's broadside. And then it bounces when it's angled enough to where it could probably bite into it. Dispersion isn't quite as good as we were seeing in those videos, but those were most of those videos of, you know, the Petro, you know, getting like a bagillion citadels in a game were from much closer range than this two. And this team just doesn't want to push for some reason. The enemy team, that is. Of course, unless they're on the eastern flank where they are pushing. Yep, all the guns are 360 degrees. That is ridiculous. Oh my god. This scene's going to be all over the Clan Wars when it's back at tier 10. Why can't my team finish off a kill? What is this? Hilarious. Overpins the Smolensk. Oh god, jeez. That game. That game went from, oh, we're gonna win this to 98,000 damage though. First game out, third in the team. Yeah, so it's, oh, whoops, I meant to hit keep going. Seems solid so far. The Dispersion seems to be a bit, I don't know. Again, with all the stuff we saw before she was released, you know, a lot of it was just edited of compilations of her getting, you know, each citadel in a game, to where she got like 20-something citadels in a game. Which, with the pin and velocity of her guns, I'd totally buy it. That she's totally capable of doing that. But the accuracy isn't quite what we were led to believe. At least it seems. Okay, Conk. Chunked him for 15k right there. He's popping his low hill for that? Buddy, no. Oh my gosh, he knocked his turret out. I didn't know if it was going to be worth it. He's just HE spamming me. Ah, Citadel Conqueror. That's not the hardest thing to do, but I did it. Oh boy! Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Like I said. Oh boy. Be gone, Hawk. Even though my most of my AA is gone. That's what I'm talking about AA. Most of my AA is gone. That is a fact. And I can still do that. And that's not so much the Petro's AA as it is that's just how AA works, because the Hawk player just flew right into my AA. Jeez, this GK, I'm beating the crap out of him, and he's still giving me broadside. I know there's a GK right in front of him too, but still, man, dude, you gotta angle. So much of this would be avoided if he was angled. We're losing this? Oh my god, I'm doing so good. Okay, that was a match. Wow. 162,000 damage, 2 ships sunk, and top 5. Good god, what did these guys do? Yeah. All right. Let's go one more. Game's over. I could maybe squeeze another. Well, oh no, we just lost Odin. But yeah, I mean, if this Cleveland comes around the corner broadside, maybe if I dev strike him, maybe I get 50,000 damage done this game. But I don't think I'm gonna dev strike him. Yeah, go figure. Game ended in. I mean, it really was over by 7 minutes. What happened there was I thought they were going to push because it looked like that Aya was kind of trying to push in, and the team looked like he was falling. Like you guys saw that small lance. I think one of the other crews were kind of trying to go for it, but then they just got absolutely obliterated by my team, and then the rest of the team sat in the back, and I was in position to try and deal with that push, but no such results occurred today. Okay, so the Petro. It's really, really, really friggin' strong. The guns are absolutely crazy. The ability for these turrets to 360-degree rotate around the ship is absolutely nuts given the armor layout of the ship. I mean, good god. This turret being so far back, it is kind of wonky to get it on target. But when you're stern tanking, which is what most players will do in super competitive situations, you do not have to show a lot of skin to get these front 2 turrets off. It's nuts. And in addition to that, again, just the general armor layout of the ship, that, it does have this strip that goes almost all the way around the stern, and the icebreaker bow up here. It's a really good layout for a heavy cruiser. And the performance of the guns, too. Now, the accuracy isn't quite what we saw in a lot of the compilation videos of the ship doing absolutely nutty things with its guns. That can be to either clever editing by whoever made the video, or I haven't checked all the notes recently about the Petro. I do suspect that it was maybe nerfed a little bit, but the Dispersion is totally workable. It's nothing terrible. It's not Stalingrad Dispersion, but for a ship with a potential 10-second reload with the module, it's pretty decent. And from close range, the AP on this thing is absolutely terrifying, as you guys saw. Again, that Conqueror. Now, granted, as a Conqueror has a really high citadel, and he was showing me broadside. But still, I mean, a 36,000 damage salvo from just the front guns on the Petro. It's pretty friggin' nutty. And of course, I continue to chunk that GK for, the rest of the 160-something thousand damage that I did that game. It was pretty nutty how the guns perform on this ship. So it is ungodly strong, and in the hands of the right player, this ship is going to be quite terrifying to deal with. So the first game did 98,000 damage, almost 100,000 damage game right there. Would have been if the game had gone for like 2 more seconds. I would have gotten the pins out on the Montana. Second game, 167,000 damage, 168,000 damage. Really good game there. And the last game only did 20-something thousand damage, but I mean, the game was effectively over by the 7-6 minute mark. And I was just out of position to really get any damage. And I'm sure if I was in position, could have easily gotten like 80 or 90,000 damage. Given in the time of the match, but it was just one of those matches that ends so fast that your team just walks over the enemy team like that. So, Petro, first impression, really friggin' strong cruiser. This thing's going to be absolutely terrifying in clan battles and other competitive modes, like if they do tier 10 rank, this thing is going to be absolutely ludicrous. Does it need to get toned down a bit? I would say so. The ability to 360 its guns on a cruiser, especially like a Russian cruiser, again with the Russian cruiser playstyle, is an absolute huge advantage. Doesn't really pay for it anywhere, except the turret rotation time is a bit long for a cruiser, which isn't really a terrible thing, because again, you can 360, so your turrets don't have to take the longest path around the ship. It can simply take the shortest path, so makes up for it there. Armor layout is also really good for a ship. The ballistics, I do think the ballistics of the shells do need to be toned down a bit. There's a lot of hidden values and stuff to the AP and HE shells that you cannot find in game. So I think those need to be toned down a little bit, because this ship in the right hands, keep in mind, I'm not the best cruiser player ever. I'm really not. And I did effectively 100,000 damage, average between 3 games. Again, if that third game had managed to go on for the full duration of the match, I probably would have gotten like 80 or 90,000 damage. If the game had continued to go on and my team hadn't just crushed the enemy team so hard. But even factoring in that 20,000 damage game, that's still 100,000 damage average from, and again, it is just 3 games. But again, I'm not the best cruiser player ever. In the right hands, this ship is probably going to be absolutely terrifying. It probably has a skill ceiling of like unlimited, given just how good the player is. And again, with Kuznetsov, the ship is pretty tanky because it gets that extra heal. And again, radar, DFAA seemed pretty good. A was knocked out in the match with the Hakuru, but I don't think the Hakuru player was doing a very good job of dodging flak. So take that performance there with a grain of salt. But yeah, terrifying ship. It is a tech line ship, so it is available to everybody at least. It's not one of these high tier premiums that's locked behind a super grind wall or anything, so it does have that going for it. But yeah, really good ship. Probably going to get nerfed in a couple of months if I had to take a guess, because this does happen. Ships come out, because again, there's only so much testing Wargaming can do in closed testing and with super testers. Ships going to come out, general population is going to get their hand on it. The problems that they have with the ship are going to be, of course, expanded upon and really brought to light when the masses get their hands on it. So whenever that does come to light, which if you had to ask me for my 2 cents, again, I think it's the ballistics of the shells. Probably will get changed around a little bit. That's what I think is probably going to get nerfed eventually. So do keep that in mind. But as of right now, incredibly strong ship. Out of the tech line cruisers, probably one of the stronger ones, especially now since Venezia got nerfed a bit. Alright guys, that's my first impressions review of the new tier 10 tech line Russian heavy cruiser, the Petropavlovsk. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And I hope to catch you guys in the next one.